Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today. It's run by GoSimpleTax, presented by myself, Aidan Corcoran, and today we're going to be doing a quick invoicing demonstration on the software that we have within GoSimpleTax. So without further ado, let me just come away from the holding screen, and this is the sign up page for invoicing.GoSimpleTax. So before I get started, we're just going to touch on today of setting up an account, setting up a customer, customizing your invoice, downloading and sending invoices that you create within the invoicing tool, and also managing invoices such as tracking those that are outstanding and also resending any invoices that haven't been paid yet as reminders. So first of all, I'd like to just bring your attention up to the top of the page where you've got the website. It's invoicing.gosimpleTax.com/sign up, and you'll be greeted with this page. So here I'm just going to stick in some details. Got my name. We're going to go with let's go with my actual email address first. So if you have already got a GoSimpleTax account, when you're registering originally, you will not be able to create the account, as it will detect that you've already got the account with GoSimpleTax. If that is the case, then you would log into your GoSimpleTax account as usual and press the invoicing button on the self-employed pages, which I'll show you later. But just to show you here, that at the bottom corner, you've got a little pop-up saying, as an existing GoSimpleTax user, please log in using the GoSimpleTax to activate invoicing. So that's there. So if you get that error message, it means that you've already got a account signed up with GoSimpleTax already. So I'm just going to change that and get started. You'll get the privacy policy, which you have to agree to, whether you want the newsletter, and whether support can access your data. And this is a screen that you'll be first confronted with. So there is setting up your account with GoSimpleTax Invoicing. Nice and easy, nice and quick. First of all, what you want to do is go to your business details and go through the setup. I'm just going to a few details here. And click save. Oh, let me put my old home address back and postcode in. So we've got the business details set up here at the top. The business name that I'm going to be using in the example is AJC Fitness. If a couple of you have been on webinars hosted by me before, you may know that I'm a personal trainer on the side. So I usually use these as my examples. I'm going through different webinars. But yes, so just adding in your details there. Within settings, you can adjust your invoicing template. So I'm just going to add in a logo by pressing add file. You can see a preview of the logo there. Payment terms, whatever your payment terms are, I'm going to go with 30 days. If you want to change your invoice number, adjust it there. Just to point out that it doesn't need to start with a number and can't start with 0, otherwise the zeros will be ignored. Telephone number, stick that in there. Once again, putting in the address which I've used. Your bank details. And this is basically a setup of the invoice template. So if I press save here now, you'll get the little pop-up at the bottom again saying invoice template has been added successfully. We do a quick view. we can see here, logo up at the top, details that I've entered. This is just a one-line invoice, and then bank details as entered underneath. So to me that looks okay for now. So we can just close off that and go back to the invoicing tool. So, so far we've entered our business details by pressing the button up here at the top. We've gone into settings and actually updated our invoice template. So now what we can do is add in a customer. So you can come over here and type in new customer. So just literally click on there, add in the customer name, customer 1, email address, customer 1, telephone number in there, address once again, whatever their address is, and just filling out these for probably security reasons. I suppose I shouldn't be putting my home address in there at all. But yeah, so we've got customer 1 here, customer1@openportal.com, the mobile number and their address. Customer is active, yes, as we do want to be assigning invoices to this customer shortly. So we click submit there, and as you can see in the bottom corner, you'll see this is a regular theme. The little pop-ups confirming certain things, so the customer has been added successfully there. So now what we're going to do is basically go into invoices and add in an invoice. What we can do simply here is go to add. You've either got the general sales, so if you didn't want to be adding personal customers in each time and you just wanted to be recording sales, we've got the default option there of sales, which will literally just add in what you want to add in. If you want to be more specific and have your customers in there, so as we've just added customer 1, I'll actually use this for this example. What you do next is choose the invoice date. We're in the 21-22 tax year. I'm going to say that my accounting year is the usual tax year, 6th of April to 5th of April, so I can basically include any date in between those dates. So we can just, for customer 1, have invoice date of the 30th of April, invoice reference what we updated before, which is good. Category is going to be a sales, and description we can have April services. Quantity 1, and let's say £1,500 for this unit price. Also on there, you can add in an extra line and include this in sales, and then add a different description. So rather than April services this time, we can add, I don't know, annual pass for the gym. Just referring back to what my business actually is, it is a personal training business, as I've said a little bit earlier, but I've just seen a couple of people join now, so it would probably make sense for me to describe that again. So yeah, description, annual pass is a gym. We can do one quantity of that of, let's say it's £500 for the year, I don't know, just a random number there. So far we've got 2 lines on this invoice. We've got April services of £1,500 and the annual pass to the gym of £500, which the invoicing software does actually total these up as we're adding a new line each time. If we press save, you can see that you've got the £2,000 invoice dropping onto your invoices here. We didn't actually note it as paid, so we've got outstanding invoices totaling £2,000 at this moment in time. If you needed to change anything on here, you could just literally press into the pen tool and edit any of the details. If you wanted to download a copy of the invoice, you would press the download button, which downloads and gives you a preview of what the invoice would look like. So once again, we've got the logo up there that I added a little bit earlier in the settings page. We've got my address, my phone number, the invoice and date that we chose, the due date, which is 30 days after. If you remember rightly, when we set up the original invoice, we've got payment terms of 30 days. So you've got your invoice date plus 30 days is due date, and invoice reference, which we set up a little bit earlier. Over this side though, considering it's actually allocated to a customer this time, we've got the customer name, which is customer 1, and then their address underneath. We've got the layout of what we've added onto the invoice ourselves. So there was 2 sales lines. One was relating to April services, quantity 1, price 1500, and the other one was to do with the annual gym pass. As you can see here, it totals out, and underneath you've got bank details. You've got my bank details, which you added in earlier on the settings page, which gives an overall template basically for your invoice. So I can just close off this one now, and likewise you've got the download there if you want to send it separately, or you've got the email button, which will send an email to the customer, which I will show you a little bit later on. But for now, I'm just going to save this, and we've got it basically in front of us here. A little handy thing for the invoicing tool is it does link directly with GoSimpleTax website. So from the invoicing tool, you will be able to go on to your full tax return on your GoSimpleTax account simply by pressing the Back to My Tax Return button. So if we just click Back to My Tax Return button, considering this was a new user that we set up a little bit earlier, we are in the freemium mode, so it's not a paid user at this moment in time, but you can, as you can see the invoice popping over to the actual GoSimpleTax software. If you try and edit this, you're not allowed. Any changes must be made within the invoicing module. So to get back into that invoicing module, what you would do is literally within the self-employed pages, you've got the invoicing button. Press invoicing, and it flicks back to invoicing.gosimpleTax.com/home, and we're back in, well, basically where we were earlier. If you want to add in another invoice, this time we've got a brand new customer, not a customer 1, and it's not sales. What you can do as a quick add is the quick add button over here. So just press the plus button, add new customer. You've got Aiden Test. Email this time is GoSimpleTax. Add in his number, add in the address. Just changing the numbers so it does, so I can show you that the template does actually change as we're going along here. So we've added in the new customer here as Aiden Test, and it's my actual email address there, so I can show you what the email button will look like. So if we click submit, come back to this drop down menu, and you've got Aiden Test as a new customer. So Aiden Test now is going to get his bill, so we're going to make the bill up as last time. As you notice, the invoice reference, because you are using the invoicing tool to do your invoices, it automatically adds 1 on to the reference each time. So the original one was 10,001, now we're on 10,002. So that's good. If you wanted to change the invoice reference, you can do that by all means. Just literally click in and edit it as you will. Once again, category for line 1 here can be test line 1. Let's go. Quantity, let's say, because it's a personal training business, we'll go with description. Actually, we'll change to booty bands. We've bought 15 booty bands for a price of £20 each. Add line in there. We go for a second line of sales again, and we'll go for personal training sessions this time. 20 sessions at £25 per session. As you can see, we'll go in here and the invoice is building itself up. This person also paid for the gym membership, but we'll go with a gold gym membership this time, which is a little bit more costly than the last one. We'll go with £4,000. And once again, you can see here that the £4,000 is added to the 800 as we're going along. So click save on here. Click back into it. We've got the invoice here, if you wanted to download a copy of it again. There's the update of the address, just to show that it was actually updating per the customer. My details over there here again, and the 3-line invoice as we're going along, nicely laid out, giving us the total of 4,800 due. So we can save that now, and we've got the 2 invoices in here. Button that we've not clicked on yet is up at the top in the middle. We've got manage invoices, so we're just going to click on it here, and you've basically got the overall management screen of your invoices. So when I said earlier that we've got manage invoices as a section, here's where you will direct yourself to in order to view this. So what you can do here is quite a few things. You've got resending invoices, you've got marking things paid in full, or if you had, let's say, 50, 60, 70 different invoices on this page, going down, you can use these entry boxes at the top to search. So if you wanted only Aiden test invoices, type in Aiden, and only Aiden starts to show. If you wanted different dates, if you knew that you sent out an invoice on a certain date, then you can always search for that invoice using the date function. There. And then likewise, invoice reference, invoice amount, whether it's been paid or not, how much is outstanding, and then payment dates and overdue dates if you wanted to have a look at things that had been paid or days that are overdue. So for example here, what we're going to do is we're going to tick customer 1 on today's date. They have made payment. And then mark as paid in full. So if you mark that as paid in full, you can see here now the outstanding's gone to 0, and it's updated its status to paid. Also, if we click back here, you'll see that outstanding invoices has gone down from 6,800, which is the total, down to the 4,800, which is just outstanding now, which is the Aiden test. So moving back onto that manage invoices screen, because I said to you earlier, we tick Aiden test and this person still hasn't paid, so what we're going to do is resend invoices. You've got the email address which is linked to the account, which is aiden.corcoran@GoSimpleTax.co.uk here. You can send it as a blank BCC, or you can literally do subject outstanding invoice for AJC Fitness, which is obviously the example business name. I press send email here, and you've got resend invoice successful. If I just pop over to my emails, which you shouldn't be able to see, we've just got this email right now. So you've got, dear, please find attached invoice number 10002. If you've not done so already, please make a payment. And attached, as you can see here, is the invoice. Once it loads, it's lodged on a different page. Bear with me 1 second. As you can see here, this is the attached invoice to the email, which is what we've just created ourselves. So close off there, and this person hasn't paid, so we just leave this blank and pop back to our invoicing. Also, a handy feature for within invoicing is you can obviously record your invoices as I've showed you so far, but at the same time you can also add in your expenses. So for this example, we'll just add in car expenses and go with, I don't know, fuel. You can add the date in there if you want. It's not compulsory on expenses, but it is compulsory for invoices, which I'll show you shortly. So description, we can go fuel for April. Here I have April date on there, and then amount, how much you pay for fuel a month, let's go with £350. If you wanted to upload a receipt, relevant receipt for that, or a summary of the fuel relating to April, you can literally press add file and go and direct yourself to one of your files which you've got that relate to the expense. For this example, I'm not going to do that, but we can do that, and I'll press submit. And you can see here now that within the car van and fuel, you've got the fuel expense. Something handy with that is if you pop back to your tax return, you will see there that the fuel expense has actually dropped onto the tax return as well. So we're going quite well here. Finally, what I'm just going to show you here now is if you click into the invoice here, we literally do have the 4,800 outstanding. If you were to mark the invoice here as paid, what you could do is have a part payment of £2,000, click save, and you will get the outstanding invoices again updating automatically over here. If we go into manage invoices, you've literally got outstanding is the balance of what we've already included there. Let's say this time Aid and Test has recorded the payment for today. Mark has paid in full, and the outstanding amount has dropped off now, and we've got the total amount there. This is literally just a quick run through of the invoicing tool. I did show you to begin with within settings, you've got your invoicing template. We added the logo in there. We created our own payment terms. You've got your first invoice number, what you want to start up with. You've got your address underneath. This is your address that will show on the invoices, your number that will show on the invoices. If you want to enable quantities like I have, you can do by clicking yes here. If no, then click no. And then you've got your bank details for your customers to pay you. At this moment in time, we have got, or we will have, we're currently finalising the links or integrations between PayPal and SumUp. So you will be able to include pay now buttons on the invoices. These are in final testing and will release shortly, but they are almost available for use for yourselves. You've got your list of your customers that you've added in here. Any adjustments to the customers, such as, let's say customer 1 has changed address, then you can just go in and update the information there, press submit, and this updates automatically. Likewise, if you need to update the email address because they've changed their email address, you can do that through there. And then if you want to cancel your account, you would click on there, but we don't want to do that. Pressing back into invoicing. So that was the first thing we went through there, is setting up the template. I then showed you how to add a customer here. Pressing the new customer button there, or within the add invoice, you've got the plus for new customer there. So two different ways to add a new customer. I then showed you how to go through and add details to the invoice, which automatically updates the total invoice as you're going along. You can add multiple lines each time. You can use the different sections if you wanted to. So commission there. And once again, the invoice totals as you go along. If I try and press save here, I'll get the error message because one customer isn't selected. And then try and save it now, I'll get another error message down at the bottom. And this relates to the invoice date, because you can't actually save a record, or should I say save an invoice, without adding a date in there. This is basically for once MTD comes into play, we will be using invoicing for that, and that is a requirement. So it also helps you manage your invoices much cleaner if you do include dates on there. So just adding a random date into there, and this time now it should allow us to save. There we go. I did show you that it connects to the tax return and updates as we go along. But what I'm going to do now is just log out of invoicing.gosimpleTax.com and go to, bear with me 1 second. Sign up there and go to GoSimpleTax.com/sign-in. So this is away from the invoicing module to begin with. So if we go into login, and I've already got an account which I've made obviously prior to this, which I'm just going to log into now. And this is the version of, or this is the pathway to get to invoicing from a normal GoSimpleTax account if you already have one created. So we've logged in here. On my self-employed page is SA103. You've got the invoicing button there. Press invoicing, and you can see here I've got a few entries in terms of invoices, and I've got a few different expenses relating to this trade. We've got outstanding invoices once again. If we wanted to go into manage invoices, you can see here we can have those that are paid and those that are unpaid shown on the manage invoice screen. If I know that, let's for example this one here, overdue by 2 days, we know that it's reference 10,013. We'd go 10,013 in there, and as you can see, it filters down the multiple different invoices just to the one that you wanted. Likewise, if you knew that it was in a certain range, so if you knew it was in like the 10,010, you could just literally type in that, and you've got 10, 11, 12, 13 there in front of you. Likewise, again here, if you wanted to then resend or send out an invoice to a customer, you'd tick the box, and up on here, resend invoices, which would send it by email, depending on what email address you've got in there, to that customer. You can BCC if you want. If not, as I say, literally update the subject, press send, and that will send out. There we go. That'll send out there once again. It doesn't come from your email address, it comes from invoice_notification@gosimpleTax.com. That is worth noting for your customers. That's because it's all sent essentially from within the invoicing system and not through your own email address. If you wanted to do that, then you would download the invoice yourself. Sorry, 1 second. Close it off. You would download the invoice yourself within here. Press the edit button, go to here, download, and then you would attach that to your email which you wanted to send. If you wanted it to go from your own email address. So I've been through it once. I've just done a quick overview of everything that I've entered in there. I'm just going to pop back to a holding screen now. And I will pop over to the webinar page. Oops, sorry. Give me 1 second. To see if any questions have been asked. So first of all, we've got a question. Can we customize layout of invoice? And if I have two, self-employment will be sorted out. So yes, if you have two different self-employment pages within the invoicing software, you'll have the option of two different businesses down the side. Let me just see if I can pop that on the screen. So back to my tax return. So you would go to new page, add self-employed pages. I'm just literally going to quickly fill that out and click save. And then if we go to the invoice in here, you can see now you've got one business and two businesses. So you just choose between the two businesses here, and you can have their own invoicing templates for each one. I hope that one answers your question there. Moving on to the next question, how much does it cost? That's one thing that I did actually forget to mention. It is free to use, so it's completely free to use, as many invoices as you want, and full functionality from what you've seen there that I've done today. So it will be setting up your account, setting up customers, customizing your invoice, downloading, sending the different invoices either by your own way or directly by your email, and then also managing your invoices and adding in expenses as well. And then if you're having trouble whilst you're going through the whole use of invoicing, you have actually access to our support team who will be happy to help as you're going along. You would simply just click on the question mark on the bottom of the page and have access to creating a ticket where you can easily put in a subject of struggling with invoicing tool, and then in the description put in a more detailed description in there, allowing people to access the ticket that you've asked, and support will then come back to you as soon as possible. Usually support replies are within an hour, but during the busier times you're talking maybe a couple of hours maximum, but we do try and always reply within 24 hours. So yeah, you've got access to quick support. As I say, usually it'll be within the hour, but maximum will be 24 hours wait for the support tickets if you are having trouble. It's not currently for partnerships. It's only available to self-employed SA103 pages for the moment. We may be looking at introducing this into partnerships later down the line, but currently it's only available for self-employed pages. Sorry, that was a question. It's available for partnerships by one of the people attending the webinar now. Any more questions? If not, I'll end the webinar here. So hopefully you found it useful. Thank you for joining the webinar, and anything else, let us know. Thank you.